Today I want to talk about intrinsic motivation. Now, the reason I want to talk about this topic is because situation came up at work. If you guys don't know who I am, I work a shift job, work 12-hour days, just got off. I went to badminton. It's 9:30 right now. I got to get up at 6 again tomorrow. But I want to make a really quick video, and it's about intrinsic motivation. So there's three people. I'm going to use myself as one example. So there's three people. One of them is really achieved. So they have a lot of certifications. They have a lot of, on paper, they have a lot of stuff going for them. The second guy has a decent amount of stuff going for him, not as much as the first guy. He has a decent amount of stuff going for them. Then there's me, who has the lowest on paper of everything that we have going on. Now, despite this, the scale of work done goes highest guy, lowest. Me, the middle guy for the achievements, he's probably a better worker than I am, truthfully. I always try to give it my best, but he's a very, very good worker. But regardless, the highest guy, right, is the worst worker by far. I shouldn't say by far, but out of us three, he is not the greatest. Now, I'm not saying any of this to complain or rant or anything. There's a lesson in this, 100%. And the lesson I wanted to go over was intrinsic motivation. Now, this covers why the guy who has the highest achievements is performing the worst. Now, he looks at everything negatively, right? Like whenever we have situations arise, whenever something happens, he feels that, his responsibilities, they shouldn't all land on his shoulders. Now, there's a lot of circumstances surrounding this, but from a very high level overview, he has the right to feel like this, but it's either you take on those responsibilities or you get out. There's nothing in between. And he ended up doing something that basically cemented the fact that he isn't going to do what he should do because he's one of the only people with those responsibilities at the moment. Now, he is the highest guy. Remember this. And then me and my other coworker, right, we're lower than this guy, but we put out way more work than he does. And we don't complain. That's the biggest thing here. We don't complain. Now, why do we not complain? Because we find something in ourselves that makes us putting in 110% easy, right? For me, I've made videos about this, but for me, the reason I put in 100%, 110% at work is because I want to give it my all wherever I go, right? It doesn't matter if I'm at work, doesn't matter if I'm at home. Whatever I'm doing, I'm going to give 110% because then it just transfers over, right? My effort I'm going to do is going to transfer over to everything. If I'm lazy in one area, it's going to seep into my other areas. So even at work, even if I hate work, I'm still going to give it my all. I'm still going to be the best worker I could possibly be, right? That's where it stems from for me. For my other coworker, the guy in the middle, who's a better worker than me, I said, his motivation stems from the fact that he can't sit still, right? He always wants to get stuff done. You can say it's ADHD, whatever, but that's completely besides the point. But his intrinsic motivation is that he can't sit still, right? He always has to be doing something. He always has to be giving it his all. He always has to be just go, 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 go. That's his intrinsic motivation. And then the highest guy, the guy who I'm talking about here, right? Who doesn't give that output that my coworker and I do, he doesn't have any intrinsic motivation, right? His motivation lies in arguably the wrong areas, right? He, I don't know what it is, but one thing I do know, right? He doesn't do the amount of work that me and my coworker does. And the work that he does do, he complains about it. Lesson here, whenever you're doing something, you have to have an intrinsic sense of whatever may give you motivation, right? The drive to do something. And you have to hone that, right? For me, it's always showing up day in, day out. For my coworker, it's that he can't sit still, right? Could be ADHD, whatever, right? He can't sit still, has to do everything well. For you yourself, it could be anything, right? There's a lot of reasons, but. What you should not do, right, is let yourself falter because you don't have that some, whatever source it is, whatever sense it is, of that motivation for yourself to achieve, right? So that's the lesson. Find that internal self. If you're watching this, chances are you're an entrepreneur. I guarantee you have a why, right? I guarantee you've heard so many times, yeah, find your why, find your why, find your why. You probably have a why. Then ask yourself, right? If I was at work tomorrow, let's say work a 9 to 5, if I was at my 9 to 5 tomorrow, would me not doing the work I needed to do, or me not, feeling like I shouldn't do the work that I want to do, does that fall into my why, right? Does that fall into the areas where I'm going to get intrinsic motivation out? Ask yourself that, right? Because you never ever want to fall to something because you don't have motivation. You can not do something and have the motivation for it, right? Like you say, yeah, that's against my morals, right? If someone tells you to, I don't know, break a safety code, you can say, no, I'm not doing that. That's fine, right? You still have, right, my motivation there. Even just thinking about that, my motivation could be that I don't want to get hurt, right? I want to set an example for myself and for others. But if you don't do it just because, right? Arguably, you're in a bad position. So find that intrinsic motivation and you will do good. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys got value out of this. Make sure to subscribe, follow for more of the journey. Try to just document every day stuff I learned, concepts today, right at work. There was a lesson in that. My coworker and I talked about it. Literally this exact thing. What is different between us than him? We figured out it's probably intrinsic motivation, right? So make sure you guys subscribe for more, get more sauce out of this. You guys are doing an AI agency or anything like that, join my Discord. Follow me on Instagram as well. Post daily on that. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Above all, stay wise.